Peace and love, family. It's RFG back at it today, and I'm going to be talking about this hollow earth subject once again. I feel that this is probably the most important information, okay, regarding the importance and the future of the human race on this planet, okay? This particular video is going to be going in depth about the creatures that dwell in inner earth that, the government wanted us to think were fairy tale fantasy, but are actually, living, breathing, and existing in inner earth. And from time to time, these particular creatures get caught on the surface of the earth. And usually that's like a once in a lifetime event for, normal people on the surface of the earth to actually view one of these creatures on the surface of the earth. Okay. Now, what particular creatures am I talking about? Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, okay, I know I'm going to get called crazy. I know I'm going to get called every single name in the book. They're going to say, oh, RFG, he's doing dope. He's on shrooms. He's out there. He's out of his mind. Let me make this very clear. That word knowledge, okay, it really means knowledge. It really means knowledge. So when you talk about knowledge, you're really saying there's no ledge to your consciousness. There's no ledge to your intelligence, which means that us as being a piece of the creator, we're supposed to be able to expand our consciousness, and it's never supposed to end. There is no ending point to consciousness. There is no ending point to intelligence. Okay? I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to get at and where I'm coming from. Okay? There's no ledge to knowledge. None. Okay? And everything that this government told us was fairy tale fantasy is actually reality. Okay, so that's what I'm about to get into right now. So let's look at some of these creatures that are actually real that dwell in inner earth. Okay, but the government wants us to think they don't exist. Okay, the first creatures that, dwell in inner earth, the government doesn't want us to think they exist. That would be the mermaid. Okay, that would be the mermaids. Okay, and if you think this is bogus, okay, there's many sightings of these creatures all throughout Europe, the coasts of Europe, all throughout the coast of Northern Africa, all throughout the coasts of Western Asia. Okay, so I mean like India, off the coast of India and Sri Lanka. Same thing, people. Okay, these creatures have been existing for tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of years. Like I said, I know what critics are going to say. They're going to try to call this pseudo, and they're going to try to say that this is spookism. But I got something for that. In a couple of minutes. That's just going to completely annihilate, anybody trying to refute this information. Okay. So we all know an ancient African, folk tale, or their belief system is that they come from amphibious beings called the Nomos. And the Nomos were responsible for creating the first humans on this planet. And the first humans on this planet were known as the Moors, right? Were known as the Moors. Some individuals called the Moors the Mers, right? Instead of M-O-O-R, it was M-E-R. So it went from Moor to Mer. And these individuals are called the mermaids. The mermaids. Why would they call these individuals right here the mermaids? Because the original Moors came from the Nomos and were amphibious, called the Formorians, and their female counterparts were their maids, were their maids and their guides. Okay, so these individuals were called the mermaids, the Moor maids, the Moor's maids, the mermaids. Okay, let's keep it going. Right here, we have a unicorn. Okay, and what's funny about this is all of these creatures I'm going to show you have been mentioned in every single culture's ancient history. Okay, every single culture across the planet. Okay, right here we have a griffin, which is a eagle that has genetics mixed with either a horse or a lion. This one looks like a horse, a cross between a horse and an eagle. Okay, right here we have a centaur, which is a human mixed with a horse. And that can't be too far-fetched because, ladies and gentlemen, this is what a Sagittarius is. This is the living definition of a Sagittarius. A cross between a man and a horse. Okay, right here we have the Hydra monster. Okay, in the Hercules movie. And right here we have a werewolf. Right here we have Bigfoot. Okay. And like I said, if anybody wants to call what I just showed you, by the way, all these creatures live in inner earth. All of them. All of these creatures listed on this list are dwelling in inner earth. Okay? Not a game, not a joke. And anybody who wants to call this pseudo, wants to call me crazy, I'm out of my mind, I'm snorting coke, you know what I'm saying? That this is bogus and this is spookism. Well, guess what? If you call this pseudoscience and you call this spookism, guess what else you're calling pseudoscience and spookism? You're calling this pseudoscience and spookism as well, right? Somebody tell me, am I wrong? Let's look at the walls of ancient Kemet. Aren't these deities with human bodies and with animal heads? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Are these not deities with human bodies and animal heads? Showing that these individuals, okay, had two separate species DNA lineage. And this is all on the walls of Kemet. Okay? This shows that our ancestors had a genetic processing program, a genetic splicing program going on this planet. Okay, let's continue. Here we go again. The major gods. Okay, when we go back to Kemet, seven of them had spliced DNA. You know what I'm saying? Their DNA was mixed with animal DNA according to these texts and these hieroglyphics. Right here we have Horus with the head of a falcon. Set, okay. Thoth. Okay, Khnum. All of these gods, okay, most of them had spliced DNA with animals. Okay, I'm about to get into Anubis in the next couple of minutes. So we have, who do you have right here? Ra, Sobek, Hathor, Khnum, Thoth, Set, and Horus. So, you know what I'm saying? Nobody can call me pseudo. Nobody can call me what I put out spookism at all. Otherwise, you're calling your own ancestors pseudo and spookism, because this is what they were telling us all this whole time that these creatures exist. And if you want do your research, when you look at Anubis getting in front of that scale, okay, there was a god that was mixed with a crocodile and a lion, where if your heart was too heavy to move on to the next dimension, you were eaten and consumed by a god that was mixed with a crocodile and a lion. Go look it up, people. Go look this information up yourself. Okay, so right here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 7 out of 11. Yeah. No. 7 out of 12. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. Yeah. 7 out of 12 gods that have animal DNA. Okay? So, like I said, if I'm pseudo, if I'm crazy, if I'm out of my mind, I guess the people who built the pyramids and, carved the hieroglyphics, I guess they were out of their minds too. Okay? And like I said, if you think this is a joke, if you think this splicing thing is a joke, just go watch. Didn't they make a movie called Splice a couple of years back, showing that any living organism's DNA can be spliced with any other living organism's DNA? Hello, people. This is what's going on in your underground military bases. Okay? The cat is out of the bag. It's a wrap. Okay, and if you think it's a joke, let's go to the god Anubis. This god Anubis did something very, very profound and very somewhat genius in a way, but I guess there was a mistake that was made. This individual took human DNA. Okay, this individual right here took human DNA and wolf DNA. Okay, Anubis took human DNA and wolf DNA and spliced it, and this is what came out of it. The domesticated dog. The domesticated dog has the nuclear DNA of a wolf and the the mitochondrial DNA of a wolf and the nuclear DNA of a human. Let me repeat. The domesticated dog that exists on this surface world has the mitochondrial DNA of a wolf and the nuclear DNA of a human. Okay? That is how you get an animal domesticated and not wild. You see, Anubis took the wild wolf, the wild aggressive wolf, spliced its DNA with human DNA, and that's where we get this domesticated dog. Okay? It's not a game, it's not a joke, but here's where the mistake was made. There was a certain strain of this species that accidentally spliced the mitochondrial DNA of the wolf, the mitochondrial DNA of the human and the nuclear DNA of the wolf. They accidentally spliced the mitochondrial DNA of the human and the nuclear DNA of the wolf. And ladies and gentlemen, okay, this is what you got. You got a damn werewolf walking around. That's a humanoid wolf with the nuclear DNA of a wolf and the mitochondrial DNA of the human. So it's a werewolf now. Instead of a domesticated dog, you have a goddamn werewolf walking around, okay, out in the wilderness, and you know what I'm saying, in the uninhabited areas of this planet. And I'm gonna tell you, most of these werewolves, they live in inner earth. Okay, they eat flesh, just like you see in the movies, and they live in inner earth. And a lot of them live on the surface as well, but they don't live around heavily populated areas. Okay, so I just want to tell these people that the people claiming to see these creatures out in the open, they're not making this stuff up, people. They are not making this stuff up. Okay, our ancestors had a genetic splicing program that went on this planet. Okay, we know the Caucasian is 2 to 5% Neanderthal, and the Neanderthal is not human. So how in the hell do you go from black, quote unquote African, melanated Moor to Caucasoid? Okay, it doesn't work like that unless somebody was spliced. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up, people. Because this stuff was on the walls of Kemet tens of thousands of years ago. That our ancestors had a splicing program that was going on. Okay, so right here we have the werewolf who was spliced, who has the nuclear DNA of a wolf and the mitochondrial DNA of a human. Right here we have Bigfoot, who has the nuclear DNA of the monkey and the mitochondrial DNA of the human. Right here we have a centaur, okay, mitochondrial DNA of a human, nuclear DNA of a horse. Okay, this is a cross. This griffin is a cross between an eagle and a horse. And this is the unicorn. Okay? This is a mermaid. And of course, this will be spliced between a fish, okay, a fish and a human. Okay? And if, like I said, if you don't think it's possible, you think it's pseudo, you think it's spookism, it's right here, people. It's right here. Okay? This is what they were telling us right in front of our faces in plain sight. Look, that's Anubis. Anubis created domesticated dogs on this planet. And I guess you can say Sekhmet did the same thing for domesticated cats and felines on this planet. Not a game, people. It's not a game. Okay, I hope that, I'm still able to, change people's lives with this information, because we have to go back to a childlike state. Okay? We have to go back to a childlike state, ladies and gentlemen, because the information we've been given with science, okay, and evolution is proven to have been a lie. Okay, so this is what the earth really looks like, ladies and gentlemen. The grid, you see the grid right there on the outside? That's the surface water. That's the surface of the earth. So at the bottom of the ocean, what you have is another ball, okay? And that is the surface of inner earth. That's the surface of inner earth. The two holes, okay, one at the North Pole, one at the South Pole, are the major gateways to inner earth. And that is why they are being blocked off by the secret military, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so this is your real diagram of the earth. The core, what they told us was the core of the earth in school on that little chart diagram. That's really the inner sun. That's really the inner sun that is incubating the secret society that lives in inner earth. That's why they're called the incunabula. The incunabula. They're getting incubated by the inner nebula, which is the inner sun. Okay? And I will be doing more and more lectures on these particular monsters that people see in the wilderness. Okay, people that live out by themselves. Oh, by the way, this can be seen as the Loch Ness monster, this Hydra. Okay, that can be seen as the Loch Ness monster because those actually exist. Okay, just like these werewolves, just like this Bigfoot, just like the centaur, just like the griffin, just like the unicorn, just like the mermaid. And if you think it's a joke, like I said, you're not bad mouthing me. You're not insulting me. You're insulting your own ancestors. Okay, plain and simple. Plain and simple. And you know what I'm saying? We all know that they put the truth in movies. They put the subliminal messages in movies. If you think it's a joke, there's your movie right there, Splice. And what's funny is this was mainstream. This was actually a mainstream movie that didn't come out too long ago. That came out not too long ago. What, 2010? Yeah, this movie came out in 2010, people. Splice. Right in front of our faces. Okay? So this means that every other race of human that's not 100% melanated was spliced with a different animal's DNA. Okay? And also these werewolves and these Bigfoot creatures, okay, they were spliced with animal DNA. Our ancestors were trying to domesticate certain animals, and there were certain defects where the nuclear DNA got switched up with the mitochondrial DNA, and this is what you get. You get a humanoid looking ape, and you get a humanoid looking wolf. Okay, defects, what you call monsters. Not a game, people. Okay, so I hope I was able to shed, a lot of light on this topic. I will be going in further detail about, these werewolf sightings, these Bigfoot sightings, and, mermaid sightings as well, and going into exact detail of how the government, tries their best to cover this shit up. So we think and buy into the bullshit that is just fairy tale fantasy make-believe. Okay? So that's really all I had to say on this topic. I appreciate everybody who supports RFG movement and Atlantean movement. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. It's the chosen one, man. I'm out.